find the match between Soto and Riddle to see exactly what happened. To see exactly what happened in that one. Apparently, Riddle won. He won because Soto got disqualified for some manoeuvre. I haven't seen it, so I don't know if that's an accident or not. People will know that I don't particularly like Matt Riddle, but you know, if it was deliberate or even an accident, then you know he does deserve to win that one. So I don't know. Hopefully, I'll be able to see that one at some point, but I can't find it online. I'll move on and talk about the match between Shane Carwin and Frank Mir. The main thing about that match is that it went on for way too long. You know, Joe Rogan was really going on about how the ref was responding to the boos. I'm not sure that's the case. I think that a jostle for position, you know, in the clinch is fine, but I don't think that it's acceptable to leave it there, you know, for say 2 minutes if one party is not going to get the upper hand in that. So I would say that I think the ref in that respect, in breaking them up every so often, did the right thing. The problem that I have with that is that it was clear that the match was over when Mir first went down against the fence. I think that is when it should have been called. Of course it wasn't, and it went on for far too long, just far too long. I'm glad that Carwin won, but I just think that that's I don't agree with the fact that that went on too long. Rousimar Palhares and his heel hook of Thomas Saval next. You know, I watched that match and I agree totally that he kept the hold on for some reason. I do figure that you shouldn't release a hold if the person taps without the ref seeing it, which also happened. Thomas started tapping, the ref didn't see, he was around the other side if I remember rightly, but then he saw and he grabbed a hold of Rousimar Palhares, and at that point he was tugging before Rousimar let go. Now Palhares apologised in his post-fight interview. I don't know why he would do it deliberately, but it certainly looked like he was just ignoring the ref completely at that point. So I don't know what they're going to do with him, but I do think that and low blows are things that should be dealt with extremely harshly. You know, you listen to the ref. If he calls it, and then you let go. And clearly, if your arm's being tugged on to try and release a hold, and you don't, then that's just, you know, despicable, really. So yes. You know, I was really a little bit upset about the fact that the match with Thiago Alves was called off, and I wasn't really interested in the replacement to fight John Fitch, and you know, a classic John Fitch decision. It raises questions here. We've spoken about this a lot on forums. You know, is it really possible for you to say that you can that a fighter can dominate his opponent if he is able to finish at some points but doesn't? Is it all right for a fighter to just basically either play safe or play to a game plan that involves deliberately not trying to finish because it puts you in too much danger? And that versus the fact that the viewing populace are paying for a product, and do they have the right then to complain when their fighters, you know, do something that's clever to get them a win, but are not exciting, are a bit boring and very incredibly predictable. I don't know. I went off the idea of it when I realised that Thiago Alves was out. Not that I deeply like Thiago Alves, but I thought that it would present an interesting matchup. And Thiago Alves himself has I don't know, he's apparently going in for some sort of surgery on his brain or something. And then he says on his Facebook that he's going right back to training within 2 weeks. I'd like clarity on what exactly is going on there. Kurt Pellegrino, absolutely fantastic. Now that, Kurt Pellegrino and whoever he's fighting, whose name escapes me at present, Camos, that was it. Absolutely outstanding, and that's the sort of performance that I think people really want. It's not necessarily about the finish, it's about trying to finish, and it's about using the technique to try and finish. You know, there was an exchange there, particularly in the first round, of submission attempts versus defence, and that to me was an extreme display of technique, and I can appreciate that. The reason I can appreciate that more than, you know, the lay and pray that goes on with some people is because it was exciting, because it was moving, because they were obviously trying to finish. They weren't trying to score points. They were both doing things that could possibly get them into trouble, but they had the self-confidence to believe that they could get out of it. I think that was a fantastic match. I think that was absolutely fabulous, and well done to both of them. And I hope that won Fight of the Night. I haven't checked, but I hope it did, because I think that was the best one that I've certainly seen on that card. And now George St Pierre and Dan Hardy. You know, I actually thought that Dan Hardy did have a chance. A lot of people just think that I am being somewhat patriotic, being a Brit or whatever. I actually thought that he did have a chance. I think the thing with George is, since he's become with the belt, he has become predictable in that you can more or less be sure that he will go for a decision. There were 2 very big submission attempts, and that we get conflicting ideas on what happened with them. Some people say that George has said in the post-fight press conference that he tried his hardest to finish with these submissions and wasn't able to, and Dan Hardy thus breaking out of those submissions, all credit belongs to him for being able to do that. Other people have said, no, we've seen the footage and we see that clearly George's could have gone further and just didn't. I don't know if that is true. I don't know what's true. I do know that I don't think that he was. I don't think finishing is as important to him as winning a fight, as protecting the belt for him. And I think, really, you know, if people were so into saying that Dan Hardy shouldn't have fought him, shouldn't have been there, well, what does it say when Georges can't beat somebody who, you know, is not supposed to be on his level, is not supposed to be fighting him? Either you have to give credit for Dan Hardy and say, wow, he's miles better than anybody possibly imagined, or you say, well, perhaps Georges could have done better. Now, he did apologise, and he did say that he was going to try harder in the future to finish, and I appreciate that, and I wait to see what happens. But you'll excuse me if I say that dominance isn't just about controlling the person, which clearly he did with takedown after takedown after takedown. It's also about actually trying to finish. You know, compare him to other champions like BJ Penn, who finishes all the time. And I think you find that there's a difference between the dominance that GSP shows and the dominance that Penn shows. And personally, and I think a lot of people will agree, we prefer to watch and we prefer to be supportive of people who are actually going to finish it as well.